There we go. Okay. Happy Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month. Happy November. And this is our weekly Team B call. Thanks for joining us. There's a couple things that I want to just jump right into. First off, we always like to welcome our new representatives. We've got lots of new team players that have showed up in the last month. So if you have a new rep on this call tonight and want to do a shout out, I will start talking and let you jump in. Anybody? Where's Melissa? Melissa, you said you wanted to welcome a new teammate. Now you're quiet. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was trying to text one that came on early and then jumped off. So yeah, Alan is here. He came and joined us via the Tower Gardens.
Hi.
So excited. He was so keen, he actually drove to head office and picked up his tower. So he's a brand new Tower Gardener and team member. So we're pretty excited. Toronto.
Great.
And Amanda Steele, she is back. We're so excited to have her on. And I'm not sure if Kathy is on yet. If she is on, welcome to Kathy. She's joining us from California. Nice and warm.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Okay, anybody else before we jump in? I think we got everybody covered. I see mostly everybody else's familiar faces. So, okay, great. So exciting. Okay, so a couple things. I want to just shout out to all the leaders on this call tonight that helped put the Dr. Anthony Tour together. You guys rock. You guys pulled it up really fast. We got wind about a month ago that this amazing chiropractor was not only going to do a quick tour here in Ontario, but he was willing to stay in Canada for 30 days and love on Canada. And so we're just so grateful that you leaders found events fast. You booked the venue, you got flyers, Nikki helped, you guys made it happen. And so for all of you guys that want some more information on the Dr. Anthony Tour, Nikki, our personal assistant, who we love and adore, is on tonight. She's the one that just updated our teambethechange.com website with all the events and the flyers. So if you want to look and see if Dr. Anthony is in your area, you can check out our website. Shout out to all the leaders that are managing the Shred 10 group this month. Just really wanting to say thank you so much for stepping up and sharing your love and your expertise as a Shred coach. So if you guys don't know about it, there is a Shred 10 event page going on right now. We just finished day 3. And we're heading into day 4 tomorrow. There's over 600 people that are part of that community that are shredding for the next 10 days. And it's a lot of fun, lots of comments, lots of testimonials. So we're just really grateful for that group. And I think at this point, what I want to do is, there are so many events that are happening, and because we've got team all over the place, the big one here in Ontario right now is we're heading into Friday. Our Lunch and Learn is sold out in Aurora. We're still looking for people to help us, so if you are going to show up for that event, come for 11:30 so that you can kind of help us do some setup. That would be amazing. And then on Saturday, there's still a few tickets left for the Aurelia Regional, which starts at 9 and goes till about 3 o'clock. And that's where we're going to get lots of training on how to do our business, and we're just really excited about that. So on that note, I just thought this would be a really good time to feature a couple of our Rockstar distributors that seem to have figured out how to do events and do them really well. And somebody is not on mute. Melissa, maybe throw yourself on mute, dear.
Before I do, I want Leslie to introduce her new rep before we jump in.
Oh, okay.
I jump in real quick. Nikki, I have Kathy Halsell, who I think that you had removed from our last, because she jumped on the team leader call and she's like, I can't get in. Zoom has said that she was previously removed by host on our last call, and now she can't hop onto this call.
Did Leslie want to introduce?
Leslie's having technical troubles too. It just showed that she left the meeting, but she was on. So I'll just introduce Britt. She's a new rep under Leslie. She was on here a second ago anyways, so hopefully she's still on. So yeah, Britt lives literally on the way to my cottage. I got to stop by her house and drop off some stuff to her right on the way. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, she's a young mom. Pretty excited to have her on our team.
Awesome. Welcome, Britt. Okay, so we're going to talk and move and shift into events. So one of the biggest tools that we will gift you is, I would say that our team is probably one of the biggest teams, or the biggest team in Canada that has the most events. We're always doing events. And that was my mentor long ago said, events drive your business. Events get people out, they build belief, you create community. And I'm just so proud of Team B for like owning events. We do such a fantastic job. And I know sometimes, guys, when we do an event and maybe we don't have the numbers that show up and we feel a little disappointed and we have to manage our disappointments, we all go through that. If you've never had a no-show, then you haven't been in the business long enough. I think we've all had no-shows. It's like you plan for an event and nobody shows up and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to quit. But we don't quit. We just keep on doing it and do another event and do it better the next time. So there's a couple people on the call tonight that I just want to feature. The first person I'm going to bring on is Kelly Skinner. She's out in Kitchener. She's a senior sales coordinator within Jen Brennan's organization, Team Hustle. And Kelly, when she first started, and I love her story, is we did a Boss Babe event that had about close to 40 people. And if you guys have ever done the color coding, she's a green, and that was like so out of her comfort zone because people were sharing stories from the heart. And she's like, I just want to hear the science. And bless her heart, I'm sure that she wanted to like die and crawl under the table and never have an event again. And thank goodness Jeff was there saying, you can do this, babe, you got it. And she kept on, sticking it out but doing events that really resonated with her. And she kind of found her way and started to bring in, the doctors and other health professionals. And she started to fill the room of 100 people, which is incredible because filling a room with only a few active distributors is a big task. It really is. And so when we got wind that Callie was doing that, we're like, how the heck is she filling the room with that many people? Like, is she literally buying them to come to the event? So what we want to do is just get Kelly on here so that she can kind of showcase some of the things that she has learned on the way of filling a room and how much work, right? Because there is work, guys, and kind of give people a sense of the numbers, like how many people do you have to be inviting to get a room of 100 people. So I'm going to stop talking and get Kelly. I would want you guys getting a pen and paper out to kind of take notes because she's going to give you guys some really good information so that you guys can, have kick-ass events like Kelly. So Kelly, go for it. All yours, girl.
I love that there's fireworks going off right now behind me too. So, that first event was really scary. And what I've learned from subsequent events, the best way for me to get people on there is that I GoPro them for events. We GoPro for our product in our business. I GoPro them for events. So I'll always send out the amount of personal messages that I get or that I send out. I've had thumb tendonitis. So now I've learned to copy and paste it. I just make the first little bit personal to them. Like, hey, Sheila, I know that you're really into health and wellness. And as soon as I saw this event, I immediately thought about you. And then I'll explain we have Alyssa Harriman who's coming in and she's doing a mental health and nutrition talk. I'd absolutely love if you could join me for it. Do you think you'd be interested? And I'll put the date in there. Once they say yes to coming to the event, or if they ask for more information, that's when I then send the link to them. When I send the link to them, I then make sure a couple of days later, I follow up with them and say, hey, did you manage to get your ticket? I'm looking forward to seeing you and having a glass of wine and catching up or something like that. So I'm making it personal for them. It's not just this mass throw out this flyer or link to 75 different people and crossing my fingers and hoping that they show up. It's really become a personal thing for me that I'm getting to know people who I'm inviting out there. And I've gone on to all kinds of things like meetup groups and what else have I done? I've harped on him. I'm like, you got to go to curling. You've got to talk to people. So it's that connection about where I'm drawing these people in from. And that's really all I'm doing. It's nothing special.
Kijiji.
Oh yeah, Kijiji. I've done Kijiji. I went on, so Dr. Anthony Gole is coming in. I'm like, heck, he is an exercise physiologist or some other magic thing going on there. And I've messaged personal trainers. Hey, we've got this guy coming. I think it might be really great for you to come out. You might have a couple of clients that are interested in coming out. And at the bottom of it, you know, I put it in a nice way, but I'll even say like, might even be a great side gig for you to tack on with your training. You know, if you want more information, let's talk. I've had 2 trainers who have gotten back to me. I probably sent out 15 messages to trainers, but 2 to come back. And yeah, so that's anything else.
Facebook posts or Facebook like boosted posts.
Oh, I pay for boosted posts too. I pay. So in a way I do buy my people.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but see on Facebook, when you go to boost a post, you can do very, very specific, right? Whether they're into health and nutrition and the age group, and you can really target and add to that specific person, right? So you don't have to spend, it could be $3-4 a day, but you're serving that ad up to them, right? So it's just something extra.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know one of the times we had Dr. David Phillips come in, I went into different groups that I was involved in. I said, hey, is there any, because I was focused on nutritionists, any nutritionists in here that are interested in sports medicine or nutrition? And I got 8 people that said yes. Why? What? And I PM'd them all. And the one person that showed up out of 8 people that said yes, they were interested was Andrea White Monroe, who is my frontline senior sales coordinator. So total stranger to me. We didn't know each other. And she showed up at an event and signed up, and the rest is history. So, and all I did was ask a question. And right. And you did that, Kelly, too, where you were throwing it out there when, you know, I love the poll. Tell them about the poll. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, when we had Alyssa come in, because she has 2 really great talks, I threw up a poll about what would you rather hear more about, cancer and nutrition or mental health and nutrition? And I think I ended up with 75 people voting on that poll. And I sent out probably 80 to 90 messages to people asking them, hey, you know what, I've got this poll up. I would really like your input on what you would be more interested in, whether it's cancer and nutrition or mental health and nutrition. And then that gave me the chance to, even if they were cancer, I could go back to them and say, you know, I'm really sorry we had to go with what the polls were saying, but I'd still really love for you to be able to come out and show your support to this like amazing speaker, like give her Kitchener love or whatever it is that resonates with you, and come on out to the event. And that's how I think we're bringing in a lot of people, is the personal touch.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Okay, so thank you for sharing. That's very inspiring, and I know that you're working really hard to fill your Kitchener spot, and you're getting the numbers, and you're working right to the end. I say you don't stop until the event starts, right? You just never know who.
So do you know what? On Friday night, he was actually going to come to Aurelia for the Dr. Gole talk, because he wanted to be a part of that this weekend. Yeah. I'm like, no, divide and conquer. You're going to the curling club, you're going curling, and you were telling everybody why I'm not there.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Susan Baker, my dear, are you on? Let me see. We got 2 panels here. Oh, there you are, dear. Okay. So Susan Baker, she was my science teacher in nutritional school. She took 8 years to say yes to this business. Be persistent. Don't give up on people. That's my message. And she just had a kick-ass event in Toronto that sold out like 2 weeks before the event. And Susan is building in Toronto. And, you know, Toronto is not an easy market to build in, because there is hundreds and hundreds of communities where people are like, don't drive outside of their community. And I think that's what you've learned over the years is, you know, how do you penetrate Toronto when it's so big and people are so busy and most people are working 2 jobs, and It's just crazy. And how do you get people after a full day of work coming out again to hear a talk? So Susan has been in Toronto now for 3 years, and I say that I keep on seeing your events growing. They're getting bigger. There's this sense of FOMO. My gosh, I'm going to miss out. You're doing definitely smaller events, and you're starting to do some of the bigger events. So maybe you could just share with people and give them some advice about, you know, how to build in communities when it might not be as easy as we think.
Yeah, for sure. And it does start with smaller events in my experience. And even though I have a history of holding big events as a nutritionist, with running that nutritionist networking group, Nicole, when I started with Juice Plus, especially in a new community, I started small. My salad jar events now average, 10 to 12 people every time. And that's on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'm in a neighborhood with a lot of part-time working mamas and a lot of mat leaves and stay-at-homes. But it started with 4 people, 5 people, 6 people coming out. So even those of you who are new reps starting, or maybe you're restarting, it's okay to have smaller events. What I would say, and it is just what Kelly said, the ticket to having consistent events that people show up at is the connection with people. 100%. That's what I would say it is, because your connections with people, so making connections with people, so getting out there, even if you're an introvert, find places that work for you, people that work for you, connect with them. What does that mean? One of the things I learned from Nicole Scott was you don't give out business cards. You basically say, hey, listen, you're a like mind, you're into health. Why don't I add you to my private Facebook group? It's all about nutrition and health sharing, and it's really dynamic. Andrew, sit down, please. Okay. It's really dynamic, and it's almost like an active website, right? It's like one of the best ways to connect with people. But even within your Facebook group, figure out ways that you can keep those people connected. So maybe it's some free challenges. When you think of someone, tag them in a post. Facebook algorithms are the worst these days that they've ever been, which means that even some of our stellar posts aren't getting any views. And what I have found worked really great for connecting with people, is I would copy them, like tag their name in the comments section, not in the main post, in the comment section of my post. Hey, Elise, Estelle, Nancy, whomever, thought of you, I don't know, I was making pasta tonight or whatever. Create connection. Doesn't have to be about Juice Plus at all. Create connection. So that's the first thing, is connect with people and be active in connecting with them. The second thing is that builds relationships. So all of a sudden you've gone from being strangers to, okay, I kind of know that person. And what I have found, and probably Kelly, you would agree with this, is that leads to loyalty. And that has always been the ticket to people showing up at events, is there's almost like, gosh, I don't want to disappoint Susan, or I don't want to just not show up because Susan's worked hard at this, or she's sent me a message, or whatever it is. Like, when there's loyalty or connection to you, I think there's a greater chance that your events are going to, have those numbers. And that takes, just a little bit of time to actually build that. The other thing that Kelly mentioned, which I got the idea from Kelly, was about this poll. So last year, multitasking. Last year, I going to be awesome, and I was expecting at least 30 people, and everybody kept saying, I'm busy that night. It was like a Monday night. I'm sorry I can't come. And we had a really low turnout. I was super disappointed. And then I heard Kelly say that she had done a poll. So I did that in the spring. And just like she did, I did, are you interested in picky eaters? Or I chose different topics, picky eaters or healthy skin. I knew full well I was hosting a talk on healthy skin. I didn't have picky eaters lined up, but it did just what Kelly said. It created interest from both parties. So I got a whole bunch of people saying, yeah, I want to know about healthy skin. I'm like, oh, perfect. There's my invite list. And then the second thing was, I had all those people who wanted to hear about picky eaters. So those were the people that got my back to school lunches invites for the following September. But the other poll I did, and Kelly, I don't know if you've done this, is like I straight up asked my people what night works for them. Well, in our neighborhood, everybody has something Monday to Thursday in the evenings. So the only night that truly works for people is a Friday night. And I at first thought, no one's going to come out on a Friday night. But guess what? You give people enough notice. And when I say a live event notice, I'm talking like 4 weeks out that you're starting to create interest around this. People will come out because you build it up as a fun night out, a Friday night out. So the last thing I would say is that I have found that the lead up to the event is almost more important than the event itself. And I say that because I realize that the event gives you the excuse to connect with people. It gives you the excuse to reach out. It gives you the reason, let's use that word. So, hey, Jen, thought of you because we're doing this talk in a few weeks' time on healthy skin. And I know we joke about our aging marks on our skin, ha, ha, ha. What are you doing on Friday, October, blah, blah, blah. Would love to see you. And, oh, no, I'm not available. Even if it's a no, it creates the connection, the conversation. You can just keep it going. Like, oh, too bad, it's going to be awesome. Or, talking about like nutrition tips and, we're going to be mentioning some, things that really work. And then you can bring up Juice Plus. It creates a conversation. So I don't want to ramble too long, but I have found that the lead up to events is some of the best opportunities to create those conversations. When we say to new reps and seasoned reps, you need to reach out to people on your list. Events give you a reason to make those connections as opposed to it feeling like a straight up cold call. You hear what I'm saying? So I have found that to be really, really successful. And that's a great reason to have events, big and small, is it gives you that chance to reach out to people.
Awesome.
Can I add one more thing? So what I did too, because there was a lot of people who, being in a smaller town like this, our transit system isn't like the Toronto system where you can get there at the drop of a hat. And so I had a lot of people who, oh, I don't drive, or my husband's got the car, or whatever. So I would be like, you know what, I'll pick you up. Come on, I'll pick you up. And I would act as DD and get them excited to coming out to the events. And then it's like, they'll find a girlfriend that they want to go to who has a set of wheels that can get them to the next event, right? And actually it started to trickle down into my team because one of my reps, Sheila, she's not on here tonight, she sent me a text message yesterday that she's picking up Stephanie, Miranda, sent a note to Melissa, and she has 2 more from work that she's going to get. And I'm like, girl, you have 3 extra spaces in your car. Are you taking my van? Right? So we're going to car swap so that she can have my van to pick up all these people, and I'm going to take her car to the event. So, you do what you got to do to get it done.
I love it. That is so great. So this was amazing training. Thank you, ladies, for sharing some of the stuff that's been working for you. And, I just encourage everybody that's on the call tonight, if you are planning, to show up at the local events that we have here, is to start implementing it, start putting it into action. I love using my voice. I love actually using like Facebook Messenger and voice messages. And customizing it because they can hear your excitement. That's usually my go-to. That's what I kind of use. Susan Baker saying totally is your voice. I know that Sandy B, she uses actually a video and almost like Snapchat. She did an example for me and she had me in stitches. She had like this mouse costume on with these big glasses and she had this squeaky voice. But I was like, oh my God, what is this woman up to? She is so hilarious. It totally caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting her. But she goes, she does that, not all the time, but to have fun with the invite. And to do the video was, the costume idea. Exactly. Like, how fun would that be? So original. How many people get a fun invite in a costume outfit? And maybe you could actually be a strawberry. I think there's a dancing strawberry. So I dare everybody to like dress up as a dancing strawberry and invite to the next health talk. And then the other thing that I'm doing right now for events when I'm working with a new rep that maybe isn't local to me and maybe can't do a local event is we immediately set up 2 dates typically in their calendar to do a live of their own personal event. So I know that Michelle, we just did that with your new rep that just launched, Ariana. or we set up an event with her this week. It was Tuesday night. It was 8:30. We did a little coaching the night before. And it was awesome because then now she has an event for 2 weeks that's open and active where she can be inviting her friends and family and warm market and even cold market to that group for the next 2 weeks because her story is there, my story is there, and a couple other stories are there. So that's a great event to do if you haven't done one before. They're really easy, and it gives them confidence right out of the gate to practice their story. It forces them to get them talking about their story. And honestly, that is, I think, the number one tool is your story if you are building this business, is people want to hear from you and your experience. 3 minutes left. Melissa Hyde, is there anything else that you want to say before we close off?
Sure do. We've got Janice and Alona on the call. You girls there? I took notes last month, remember?
I'm here. Sorry, I'm just making dinner and cleaning up, and it's still early here. I'm here.
All right. Oh no. I've lost part of my paper.
Uh-oh, that's a good thing.
Oh no, sorry, one piece of paper. Alona.
Yeah.
Remember last month you were so brave and you stepped up and said, this is what you were gonna do.
You're seriously
Are you okay
me out on this? I love this.
I said I would, and I wrote it all down.
I love it. I have my notes too, and I didn't hit a lot of things I wanted to hit on there, but I tried really hard. That's for sure. Did you want me to go through it?
Sure. Did you write down what you said, or do you want me to say what you said? Or okay, go. Yeah,
I wrote it down, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I invited. My goal was to get 5 new shred orders this month or October.
Yep.
And I reached out to 45 people. You guys, 45. I messaged them all, sent them, like, I'm doing this amazing healthy living challenge. I would love for you to join. Let me know if this interests you. And I have a spreadsheet of all the people. And I had a lot of people say, not right now. It's not a great time because of all the Christmas stuff coming up. So I didn't think about the fact that, November, people are having Christmas parties November 15th, November 17th. I don't know how it is in Ontario, but people here are doing it in November. I had no idea. So that's a lot of people saying no. I have about 3 conversations right now still from the messages that I sent out in the very beginning of, when was this? Like middle of October for the November shred. So it's that ongoing conversation and love. And because it was kind of like a cold call message, right? I didn't know what their needs were. I didn't know their health goals. So I just have ongoing conversations, but I have 3 that are like, oh, it just seems like it's a lot of things to give up. I'm not ready to do that. But I've kind of just explained to them that they don't have to jump all in if they're not ready. We can start them on the capsules for now, or start them on just the shake. So we'll see. I didn't get any shred orders. 0.
That's okay. Thanks for being honest. Okay.
Yeah. And then I had to help Marisa to get to SC, which we're working at it. She does have, I believe, almost 5 distributors. So it's going to happen. And I learned from this, you guys, because when you said my name, I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to speak on this today. I totally didn't even realize.
I said nothing all month.
I know. And I like that because I still pushed. I still did things to get to this. But it just didn't happen. And that's something that we need to all be okay with. If I wouldn't have done all the work, I wouldn't have all these conversations, right? So that did not happen. But it will, Marisa. I know it will. To bring on 1 new rep, I have not, but I have 3 calls coming up hopefully this week. So maybe this week, I'll be a month late. And my new team member, Lacey, I was going to help her to get to VF, but she ghosted me. Happens. I don't know how many people it happens to you, but no messages back. I've called her, I texted her. So that didn't happen. I was supposed to grow my volume 500 PVC and it went down 100. So again, I know, and this is reality, unfortunately, right? And I had 3 3-way calls with Sarah, and I did not mark down how many I had. I don't think I had 3. I probably have done maybe 1. So I set out these big goals because I was super excited, and I knew it's possible, but it just hasn't happened yet. So hopefully next month I have something better to report to you guys.
Did you take a lot of action?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I've also focused on the Dr. Goulet event. I've invited 200 people. Okay, 200, like Kelly said, private messaging. I know you're into health and fitness. You know, I thought of you. We have this awesome event with verbiage because she's amazing at that. So we kind of tag team the verbiage. And I think how many people of mine are coming? Probably 15. So again, number game, 200 people, and I have 15 that have bought their ticket committed. There's a lot of maybes, and today I'm messaging the maybes, and I said, hey, girl, if you're really interested in coming, you need to get your ticket tonight because we have 5 spots left. So we'll see what happens, but between Jen and I, we have pretty much sold out the event, so it's pretty exciting.
That's
wow,
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So I just wanted to sort of summarize. Are you upset, Alona, by your not hitting those? Are you demotivated? Are you?
You know, I have been there and done that where I went for a big goal of Q and I didn't hit it. And it literally made me, it was like a balloon that just somebody popped because I did all the work. I shouldn't have said all the work, but I did do a lot of work and it never happened. So I was down for about 4 or 5 months on myself. I was beating myself up and I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't even I'm no good, all that negative self-talk. And this time I was like, no way, Matt. I know I did a ton of work and all these conversations will come to fruition. And I loved what Kelly said about, and Susan about inviting to Dr. Goulet. That's 200 brand new conversations I have, right? People were like, yes, I love it. I'm so excited. Oh, I can't. I'm at a hockey tournament. Oh, I can't. We have a Christmas party. Oh, I can't. We're in Vancouver. But that doesn't mean no. That means I need to continue the conversations. So I'm sure lots of good things will come from it. And I've just had to change my mindset on things don't always work out. And I can't get upset about it. It's not maybe it's just not meant to be this month. But of course, it'll hopefully keep going. And yeah, I'm going to keep motoring along, you guys.
Have a follow-up event too.
This in itself is an amazing lesson, Alona, that you put all this work in, you didn't hit your goals, yet you've reframed it and you're feeling good about it and it will come. You're right, because this business is all about planting seeds. So that is just incredible. So kudos to you for stepping up and going after the goals last month and then just sharing how it worked. That's the reality of this business. It's not always, like we say, set all these goals, hit them all. So that's good, but it's about keeping going. So that's great.
Oh, thank you.
And lastly, quickly, Janice, are you?
Jan is not here. She had to leave early for a new moon meditation group tonight.
Oh, you're on mute, Melissa. You're on mute, Melissa. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Did you guys hear anything I said?
Nope.
No.
At all? Ever?
Nope.
Jeez, I was scrolling through. So Jim, maybe Janice set her goal as 5 customers and 1 new rep last month. How did that go?
Well, I don't believe that she has a new rep. Customers, I think it's maintaining what she has. I don't know if there's any new customers, to be honest with you.
We'll check in with her.
Okay.
We'll check in with her next week. You can warn her.
Okay.
Good. That is it. So again, kudos to you guys for stepping up and doing that last month.
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll wrap up and close. Thanks so much for joining us. So for the next 3 Team B calls on the Wednesday, we actually have guest speakers that will be showing up. I'm just off the top. Do you know who's next week? Is it Dougie? Melissa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Doug.
So Doug is next week. So
Yeah.
that will be Doug. So Doug Barlow is Dr. Mitra Ray's husband. He's a 100 Club NMD. And he is, very active in the business, and I don't know what he'll be training on, but you want to join him. And then, just get focused on, knowing that this call, if you can only invest 30 minutes in the week to training, that Wednesday nights at 8:30, we want to bring a lot of value and help you guys grow in this business. So on that note, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we'll see a lot of you at the Dr. Anthony tour. Have a good night, everyone.